Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to reiterate what Dan said and welcome everybody here, and thank you so much for coming and supporting us, and to say goodbye to Mum. So thank you for that. So what we're going to do is I'd like to spend a few moments thinking and sharing some memories of ours about our Mum Shirley, who was also a sister to Gwen and Connie and Peggy and John. She was a mother-in-law to Melissa and Giles, and a really cool grandma to Emily, Hannah, Rachel, Aaron and Adam. Now, sometimes in life it is okay to spend some time looking back rather than forward, and that's what we've been doing since Mum passed away. As you can probably imagine, we've cried a lot, but we've also laughed over pictures and items that we found, which have brought back many memories of our mum and also of our dad, John, who Shirley was married to for nearly 50 years. There's certainly lots for us to be grateful for. We've been thinking of terms or words that maybe would best describe Shirley. We think young at heart would be a good one. Enthusiastic would be another. Both of these terms would be relevant for her affiliation with Oadby Tennis Club. As Dan mentioned, she played tennis once or twice a week until she was 83 years old, with her fellow senior members. When playing became too much for her, she continued to organise and enjoy coffee mornings, lunches and other social events with her friends at the tennis club. We've received many cards from her friends at the tennis club, and we have really appreciated the messages and comments that have been written about her. Oadby Tennis Club was a big part of her life, as she and John organised the junior matches and coaching and junior social events for a number of years. Shirley was awarded life membership after Dad passed away. One thing that's always puzzled us, though, was how did Mum and Dad manage to get free tickets every year in the Wimbledon Ballet? Yes, literally every year they would trot off down to SW19 for their overpriced strawberries and cream to watch Steffi Graf and Pete Sampras, as it was back in those days. So, but yeah, on the tennis club or on free, it was amazing. Now, Mum had many hobbies, a variety of hobbies as well as tennis. And dressmaking was one of these. And we remember that every Wednesday evening she would go to night class with her friend and teacher Janet. And how her skills were used and very much appreciated by us all. How many times over the years have the words been said, "Oh, don't worry, Grandma will be able to sort that out," when we've had clothing or soft toys or other items that needed altering or mending. Mum made some really lovely dresses for herself that she always enjoyed to wear on special occasions. Now, Mum loved a special occasion and any excuse to get dressed up. Christmas was one of those occasions. Now, I'm not one for getting dressed up, as some of you may know, but I felt obliged to get dressed up at Christmas just to keep Mum happy. Yes, Shirley loved Christmas and having all the family around. Christmas would just not have been Christmas for Mum without festive Christmas Eve buffet at her house, a tradition that continued for more than 30 years, and in later years was followed by carol singing at Oadby Free Church. We all know that it will be very strange not to be there on Christmas Eve this year. Now, the build-up to Christmas would begin with a visit to local garden centres with the grandchildren. Emily remembers these outings very fondly, as Grandma would love to spoil them and buy them all the ridiculous Christmas tat that Melissa had said they could not have. They would come home and happily show me the latest additions to their decorations that Grandma had bought for them. Shirley's 5 grandchildren became a huge part of her life, and she was always very enthusiastic and supportive of all their activities and interests. From singing in the primary school choir at the local church at Christmas, to performances at De Montfort Hall, hockey and tennis matches, local drama club plays. Yes, Grandma wanted to be there to support them all. Rachel has said that she knew she would always have at least one supporter in the audience because Grandma was always there. One of Shirley's friends said to us only a couple of weeks ago that she doted on her 5 grandchildren. One of the things that they all loved about their grandma was her willingness to have a go at anything. We have pictures of Mum on swings, slides, roundabouts, flying a kite, or playing various sports. And we just remember her laughing at all of her antics. She would play on the Wii Games console with them in the lounge and just laugh uncontrollably when her car kept crashing, or she couldn't hit the tennis ball, or she kept getting the dance moves wrong. Grandma loved to have fun with her grandchildren, and they would happily join in their games, even if she had no idea what she was doing. That just made things more entertaining for everybody involved. Emily, Rachel and Adam will always remember playing a chaotic game called Spoons with Grandma. It was a game that she just could not grasp, but that didn't matter to her. It just made the whole evening funnier and funnier, and it just meant the world to her that she was having fun with her grandchildren. She was a real game for a laugh. Now, Shirley was able to travel to Australia on 4 occasions to visit Hilary, Giles, Hannah and Aaron. Hannah has happy memories of her grandma and the fun times they had. She remembers lots of dancing and being spoiled while out shopping. And then there were lots of games of tennis, and there were board games, not to mention countless ice creams and lollies that Grandma insisted on buying for Hannah and Aaron. Well, they were in Australia. It was extremely hot. Hannah would sit with her grandma, and they'd go through all of Grandma's amazing smelling perfumes, and she'd choose her favourites. If she was ever sad, Grandma would always cheer her up, recalls Hannah. She describes their holidays when Shirley was with her as a blast. When Hilary brought Hannah and Aaron to the UK in 2016, Hannah remembers how Grandma really enjoyed showing them local attractions, such as Bradgate Park, Bourton on the Water in the Cotswolds, and a trip to the Snowdome in Tamworth. Happy memories. Now, I'm sure that you will know that Mum's favourite pastime was gardening, and she has passed her love of gardening and plants and flowers on to Karen. Karen is now an expert. Karen enjoyed taking Mum to stately homes and garden centres on many occasions since Dad's passing in 2009. These are Karen's memories. I will always think about our many walks on a Sunday around Oadby Botanical Gardens, our trips to garden centres and our visits to gardens when we were on holiday. Mum just loved a garden, her own or visiting one. A special memory of Karen's is their trip to Gardeners World Live 20th anniversary show, where there was just so much for Grandma to see and enjoy. She particularly loved listening to Alan Titchmarsh's talk. Karen took Mum away for a week's holiday, as she did many times since Dad's passing. They went to Suffolk just 3 weeks before she died, and she celebrated her 87th birthday while they were there. Karen says she will now treasure this time with even more thankfulness and fondness. The time that Mum spent in her garden enabled her to chat with neighbours as they passed by on many occasions, and these regular chats developed into some good friendships. We've spoken to a number of her neighbours since Mum passed away, and they've all said that they really enjoyed chatting to Mum and how they enjoyed admiring her well-kept garden. Like we have said, she took great pride in her garden. So I would like to try and finish this now with a smile. And remember something that all of our family enjoyed with Mum, and that is dancing. Yes, even me, and we have footage to prove it. Like many of her generation, Mum loved to dance, whether it be a waltz, a quick step, the hokey cokey, or rock and roll. She was always in. And we have found many photographs from holidays at Pontins in the 1970s and early 80s of our family dancing in the holiday camp ballroom. Wow, some of the clothes back then. We all remember going to dinner dances at various hotels and restaurants around Leicestershire with Mum and Dad and their friends. And all who were there enjoyed watching them do the rock and roll. They were always first up on the dance floor. Grandma was still dancing well into her 80s, and her grandchildren just loved to have a dance with their grandma. Rachel smiles every time she hears Tom Jones, because it reminds her of her grandma. Why, Delilah will always bring back happy memories of her grandma waving her arms in the air while singing and dancing. She will forever be our dancing queen.